Welcome to today's lecture. The topic for today is approach to patient with drug allergy. The objective of this lesson is to define and classify drug allergy, to describe systematic approach to a patient with drug allergy, and briefly discuss management of a patient with drug allergy. Introduction. The onset of hives or rashes within a few hours of taking a new medication is easily recognized as possible drug hypersensitivity. So this is very easy to recognize in this form. However, many clinical presentations of drug hypersensitivity are more complex or take place in the setting of illness and or polypharmacotherapy. So patient may be already sick and having many other conditions, or may be taking multiple drugs, in which case it becomes difficult to recognize drug hypersensitivity reaction. So it can have various complex presentations also, like the patient in intensive care who develops a rash while receiving multiple medications, or the ambulatory patient with complex chronic diseases who develops a new and unexplained symptom while taking many medications. In such forms, it may be difficult to recognize drug hypersensitivity reaction. So the main questions that we should address when we come across such a scenario is the adverse event related to a drug? If so, which drug is responsible? Is the reaction to an immune response? Is the reaction due to an immune response to the drug, that is true drug allergy, or due to another mechanism, pseudo allergy? If the reaction is a drug allergy, what is the likely mechanism? How can necessary therapy for the underlying medical problem be continued? So all these questions need to be answered when we come across a patient with drug allergy. There are some definitions and classification. The term drug hypersensitivity, it is a broad general term that includes both allergic and pseudo-allergic drug reactions. The term drug allergy, it is an adverse drug reaction that is caused by an immunologic reaction elicited by a drug. So allergy means immunologic reaction, and pseudo-allergy means it is not non-immunologic reaction, but presentation may be similar. There is a classification of immunologic reactions. This all of you must be knowing. It's called as Gell and Coombs system. There are mainly 4 types of reactions. Out of this, type 1 is immediate reaction, and the rest of the types 2, 3 and 4 are delayed type of reactions. Type 1 is caused by IgE mediated activation of mast cells and basophils, whereas type 2 is antibody mediated, that means IgG mediated cell destruction. Type 3 is called as immune complex deposition and complement activation, a combination of IgG and drugs get deposited and cause further reactions. And type 4 is T cell mediated. So all these types are possible. World Allergy Organization classification. There are 2 types of drug reactions, immediate reactions and delayed reactions. Immediate reactions occurring within 1 hour of the first administered dose, and delayed reactions occurring after 1 hour, but usually more than 6 hours and occasionally weeks to months after the start of administration. The WHO distinction between immediate and delayed drug reactions is helpful in distinguishing type 1 IgE mediated reactions from the other types. So immediate means it is IgE mediated, delayed means non-IgE mediated. This is important because type 1 reactions carry the risk of immediate life-threatening anaphylaxis if the drug is re-administered. These reactions most commonly appear within minutes after exposure, but may begin after 1 hour following oral administration especially if the drug is taken with food, which further slows absorption of the drug. Little bit about the term drug pseudoallergy. A pseudoallergic drug reaction is a reaction that is similar or identical in presentation to an immunologic reaction but is not mediated by the immune system. So this distinction is important. It is not mediated by immune system. Pseudoallergic reactions such as those to non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs called as NSAIDs or painkillers. These can be as severe as IgE-mediated anaphylaxis and are managed acutely in the same manner. However, the evaluation and future prevention of these reactions is different from that of immunologic reactions. What are the risk factors for drug allergy? One is female sex. They are more predisposed to than males, and prior history of drug allergic reactions that makes patients susceptible for drug reactions in the future also, and history of recurrent drug exposure. Also, there can be some genetic factors and certain disease states such as infection with the Epstein-Barr virus or HIV infection and patients with leukemia. All these are at a risk for developing drug allergy. Systematic approach to the patient. Questions to be answered in a patient with suspected drug allergy are: first is the presentation consistent with drug hypersensitivity? If so, what type? Is it type 1 or other types? How severe is the reaction and what organ systems are involved? Which drug is responsible? And is testing possible for identifying drug allergy? First step is to identify the suspected drug. In that, initially we take a detailed history. The initial step involves determining all the medications to which the patient has had adverse reactions in the past. Additional history can sometimes be obtained from relatives or primary care providers. After taking a detailed history, review the medical records. In critically ill patients who cannot communicate, it may be the only available source of information. Objective testing. Skin testing for drug specific IgE. So skin test is available only for type 1 reactions. Here a positive wheal and flare response appearing within 15 to 20 minutes indicates the presence of drug specific IgE on the patient's mast cells and supports the diagnosis of a type 1 reaction. The results of skin testing with one of the agents should be interpreted as follows. A positive result is indicative of allergy provided non-irritating concentrations of the drug were used. A negative result does not exclude allergy because the patient may be allergic to metabolites of the medication or metabolite protein complexes, which will occur once the patient takes the drug. Skin testing may be falsely negative if performed too soon after an anaphylactic reaction. For this reason, a period of 2 to 4 weeks should be allowed between a severe reaction and skin testing to the suspected drug. However, if skin testing is performed in this period and we get a positive result, that positive result is still valid. That means patient is allergic to the drug. False negative results can also occur in patients taking medications that blunt immediate skin responses such as H1 and H2 antihistamines and tricyclic antidepressants. There are two types of tests available for testing for type 4 reaction also. One is patch testing. Drugs to be used in patch testing are mixed into normal saline and applied to a small area of skin under occlusion for 48 hours and then removed. And the site is examined 48 to 96 hours after placement for development of any reaction like erythema or induration. Other type of test is intradermal testing with delayed readout. This type of testing should only be performed if a commercially available injectable form of the drug is available. A positive result consists of erythema and induration at the site, and the site is examined at 24 to 48 hours after placement. Graded challenge, that means giving smaller doses initially and later increasing the dose, also called as drug provocation testing. This involves administering a medication to a patient in a graduated manner under close observation. It is based on the principle that a certain amount of the medication is needed to elicit symptoms. If we give medication at a dose lower than that, it will not elicit symptoms. So when we are going to do this test, indications, graded challenge is used to exclude allergy to the medication in question and is most appropriate for a patient who is unlikely to be allergic to that drug. Patients who tolerate a drug upon graded challenge prove that they are not allergic to the drug given at the dose used. However, under certain conditions, we should not do the test. They are blistering dermatitis, sloughing of the skin, severe generalized hypersensitivity reactions involving internal organs, and milder dermatosis with mucous membrane lesions like involvement of the mouth. So if you are going to test for immediate reactions, the starting challenge dose should be low, typically between 1 by 10,000 and 1 by 1000 of the therapeutic dose, depending on the severity of the past reaction. So if past reaction was very severe, we should give a very low dose. The oral route is preferred when possible, since oral administration is generally associated with less severe symptoms compared with intravenous administration. Tenfold increasing doses are administered every 30 to 60 minutes until the full therapeutic dose is reached. If subjective symptoms appear, the clinician can proceed more slowly by using threefold increase for 1 or 2 steps. So if symptoms are there, increase it more slowly. Instead of 10 times, you increase it only by threefold for 1 or 2 steps. And if you are giving for delayed reaction, that means patient will take more time to develop a reaction. So here the time between doses should be long enough that delayed symptoms have time to develop before the next higher dose is administered. So here increasing doses are administered by days or weeks. So some protocols may take days or even weeks. If a patient tolerates a drug challenge, it is highly unlikely but not impossible that the particular drug will cause symptoms if taken again in the future. So still some minor chances are that the patient may develop reaction again. So if for a patient with drug allergy, what are the options for future treatment? There are 3 options for future treatment in patients with a confirmed drug allergy. First one is administration of an unrelated medication. So when a medication which is not related to the previous drug is available, you can give that. Chances of allergy are less. Second one is when unrelated medication is not available, we can carefully administer a related medication. Or the third option is desensitization to the culprit drug. So this third option, desensitization, the classical desensitization is predictably successful for type 1 IgE mediated allergy, although gradual dose escalation may be attempted with variable success to several other types of immunologic and non-immunologic drug reactions. So again, here drug is administered in a graded manner, starting from very low dose and gradually increasing the dose till a therapeutic dose is reached. Long-term management of patients prone to drug allergy. Once a drug allergy has been identified, the affected patient should be educated about avoidance and provided with a written list of the generic and brand names of the culprit drug, as well as possibly cross-reactive drugs. So this is important to provide brand names also, because one drug may be available under various brand names and patient may unknowingly take a medicine from the different brand but containing same generic medicine. So this may predispose the patient for future adverse reactions. Patients with potentially severe reactions should carry valid cards where identification jewelry or register with the drug allergy information service. And it is important to limit antibiotic use in such patients because antibiotics are a frequent cause of drug allergy. Age appropriate vaccinations should be administered and repeated at the recommended intervals. This may reduce chance of patient developing infection and requiring antibiotics. Avoidance of unnecessary exposure to contagious diseases may be helpful, especially in children and patients with immunodeficiency. Proactive efforts to obtain culture data before initiating antibiotics can help to limit cumulative antibiotic exposure by avoiding treatment of viral infections and minimizing mid-treatment changes in antibiotic regimens. So if we do not use culture results, we may treat more patients with antibiotics even for viral infections, and in sometimes when we get culture report after some days, we may have to change antibiotics. This increases patient's chance of exposure to multiple medications. So it is important to get culture results and start medicines accordingly in such patients so that exposure to multiple drugs is reduced. Approach to initiating new drugs. In drug allergy prone patients, new drugs should be started at lower than normal doses when feasible, and administration under medical observation is sometimes necessary. Patients with past IgE-mediated reactions to drugs should not be given pre-medications before gradual dose escalation of new drugs. This is because neither antihistamines nor glucocorticoids can prevent IgE-mediated anaphylaxis, and pre-medications may mask early symptoms and allow dosing to proceed more rapidly than advisable. So there is no role of pre-medications. So reference is from UpToDate. Thank you.